traditional chicken soup, I'm going to use a big yellow onion, I'm going to use some garlic and root vegetables, including 2 parsnips, carrots. You can also use the root of a celery, but I'm going to use the stalks just because they're easier to chop. And then I'm going to use some cauliflower, I don't know if I mentioned the potatoes, and of course I'm going to use chicken. When it comes to chicken, you can use your favorite part of chicken. I'm going to use 1 chicken breast, 1 chicken leg, and 1 wing today, including the bone. And first I'm going to start with the onion, and I'm going to chop it to small pieces. And I know that a lot of people just use a whole onion or half an onion and just throw it into the broth, but I actually like sauteing it on butter before I add anything else, because the butter and the sauteed onion gives it a very nice flavor. So that's why I'm doing it this way. So take a big pot and put the onion cuts inside. Now add a piece of butter. And we're gonna saute the onion. After about 5 minutes of sauteing the onion, add water. And I'm adding approximately 2.5 liters. And now add the chicken of your choice. So I'm adding 1 breast, 1 wing, and 1 thigh, including the bone. Now add garlic. I'm adding 6 cloves. We need allspice, and I'm going to add 3 bay leaves. I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of salt and 2 teaspoons of chicken bouillon, and they're quite heaped. So now we're gonna cover it and start boiling. And the reason I'm starting with the chicken is that I want the broth to be as strong as possible, and since I have the bones there as well, I just wanted to give it as much time as I can. So now that the chicken's already cooking, I'm gonna start cleaning the veggies, and you can either cook them as a whole or you can chop them in advance, which is what I'm going to do. And by the time I'm done with cleaning and chopping the veggies, the chicken will already have maybe 30 minutes cooking. Approximately 1/3 of the cauliflower head, and then I'm going to use 4 celery stalks. So now I have everything rinsed. I'm going to cut everything to small pieces. I think it's more pleasant if you're eating a soup if the pieces of the veggies or the potatoes are not too big, and just try to cut everything to approximately same size pieces. And if you want to speed up the cutting process, you don't have to cut one by one, but I always line them up together like this and then cut. I'm just gonna add everything into a bowl. So with the cauliflower, I'm just gonna chop off the, what is it called? The top part, and split it to small pieces just with my hands. But I'm not going to waste the stem part, so I'm also going to chop that. So now I had the chicken cooking for approximately 35 minutes. If you have the time, you can continue cooking it for longer. And you can now also taste the broth to see if it needs any salt or more of the bouillon. Mine doesn't need anything, so I'm just gonna add the vegetables now in. And I'm going to cook the vegetables for 25 minutes. And whilst the veggies are cooking, I'm going to use a bunch of fresh parsley, and I'm going to chop off the leaves. and chop it to slightly smaller pieces. So now the vegetables have been cooking for 25 minutes. I'm gonna turn it off and I'm going to take the chicken out, put it in a bowl. You can now also remove the bay leaf as well as the allspice if you want. And I'm going to add the fresh parsley. So now we need to remove the chicken off the bone. I'm not gonna use the skin, so I'm going to remove that. And once you have it off the bone, you can either shred it or you can just cut pieces. Just make sure you don't have any bones left. So now add the shredded or cut chicken back into the soup. You can do the final taste now to see if it has enough salt. I'm going to add just a tiny little bit of pepper at the end. And this is the final result, my chicken soup